Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Knitting PT. My name is Andrea and I'm your host here. You can find me on Instagram and here on YouTube posting maker self-care reels for knitters, crocheters, and spinners. Yes, that's right, you heard spinners, and I'll explain that later on in the episode. If you're new here, welcome. This is where I talk about all things yarn and knitting and wellness related. I'm a physical therapist and patient education is my passion. And I love teaching people things about their bodies and why things work the way they do and how you can help yourself. What else? I have a website where you can find more information. You can find things in my shop where I sell merchandise, including massage balls and how to use them, and short on-demand videos for different parts of the body if you need some extra help with that. I think that's it. Yeah, everything's linked down below. I have a Patreon, I have Ko-Fi. Yeah, and then anything I talk about will also be linked down below. Yeah, I got a little distracted because in the middle of it, I started thinking about how, so I host a monthly knit night for my patrons on Discord. And one of them was telling me that, like, hey, your intro in your last video was really good. Like, it was very smooth. And of course, then it popped in my head and I thought about that while I was doing my intro and the whole thing derailed. So yeah, usually things do not go very smoothly around here. Smoothly as in, I'm not scripted. I just kind of say whatever comes to my mind. Yeah, and we just go with it. So there is going to be a new segment that I'm adding to the podcast. I always hesitate every time I say podcast because I know some people get really annoyed by vloggers on YouTube calling their episodes podcasts, but I honestly don't know what else to call it because I think of a vlog as something where I'm video logging, right? Video logging my life. And I'm not really doing that. I'm more so just talking to you about my craft. And I guess you could call it a vlog anyway. Sure, whatever. Anyway, whatever this is, I'm adding a new segment and it will be about spinning. And I'm probably going to call it Fiber Talk because my original title is a little too long. My original title is the one where the Knitting PT realizes why her handle is not the Fiber PT. And not to get into it too much and ruin the later segment for you, but I took up spinning in the past week and a half, and it's not been going too well. I had a breakthrough last night where I finally turned a corner in terms of being able to actually get the fiber to uptake onto my bobbin. I was really struggling with that for many days. I tried drop spindling first, didn't really go very well. And then I have an e-spinner that I got, the Electric Eel Nano 2. It's pretty price affordable if you want to get into spinning, but you're not sure if you're gonna maybe stick with it. It's a lot cheaper than a spinning wheel. But I'm sure there's pros and cons to all of it and that kind of thing. Yeah. The other thing I want to add is with the addition of the fiber segment, I am going to be trying to upgrade the quality of my vlogs and the editing. I've been admittedly doing very minimal editing lately, and I'm feeling inspired to get back into playing around a little bit more and just being more creative with what I am doing here. So hopefully look forward to that. Yeah, but before we jump into things, let me tell you about what I'm wearing. What I'm wearing, this is the Portage cardigan by Melissa Shutesbury. Her name will be down below. It's an older pattern. I knit this back in, let's see, I started it in 2016 and I didn't finish it till end of 2017, I think. It took me quite a while. It was the first cardigan I ever knit, the second garment I ever knit. Yeah, and this is in Malabrigo Rios and the Arroyo base, which is a sport weight base. And this is the colorway Fresca y Seco. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. Give you a close up of how it looks. This pretty springy green. The mane, so it's got a nice, what are they called? Garter stitch collar, shawl collars. And it has pockets, which admittedly I did a very poor job making. And then the highlight is the back, which has this beautiful honeycomb stitch on it. The honeycomb stitch admittedly was a slog. It took me quite a while. It's why it took me over a year to make the cardigan. I pretty much would put it down, return to it after maybe a few months, put it back down, that kind of thing. I don't know if it feel any different now that it is, 6 to 7 years later and I'm a more experienced knitter. I honestly don't know, but I also have no desire to remake this cardigan anyway, or to make another one, so yeah. But I don't know if I would recommend it as a beginner. If you're new to cardigans or new to garment making, I don't think I'd recommend this. I was very ambitious. And I mean, like, if you are ambitious and I say, sky's your limit, you can try it. But if you're new to it, and yeah, I would just go with like a more simple cardigan to start with. Like the honeycomb stitch was really just a lot for someone. I think at that point, I'd never even knit cables. I'd done lace, but I'd never done cables or anything like that. I'd never done brioche. So yeah, it was just a really ambitious project, and it just took me a really long time. Yeah, but yeah, I like the finished product. If I were to do it again, I would make my sleeves not as tight because they are a little tight, especially when I'm wearing a shirt underneath, which usually when you wear a cardigan, you do wear a layer underneath. Yeah, and of course my sleeves are kind of long here. You can see I have the cuff folded and it's a good like 2 to 3 inches. I can't remember if that's part of the pattern design or if that was just me not knowing how blocking works and not knowing that my sleeves will grow a lot. I don't know. But Malabrigo in general, I find their superwash bases tend to grow a lot when you block. The first sweater I ever knit in Malabrigo's Rios, it grew a ton too. So yeah, so just, for Malabrigo, for me at least, I find that when I block it, it does grow a lot. I wouldn't say that's the same for every other superwash that I use. But yeah, so that's what I'm wearing. Okay, so I have one finished project to share with you this week, and I'm so excited about it. I really want to wear it today actually, but I try not to wear finished objects until the pattern's been released. And so this one is not released yet. It'll be released, I think, mid-March, so in a few weeks. But this is the Downtown Hoodie by toriknitsnyc. I love it so much. I'll talk more about the fit and everything when I actually wear it, when the pattern's released. But I tried it on yesterday. It fits great. The sleeves are exactly the length I want, where they're like a little bit long, but not too long. Yeah. Super, super, super happy with it. And you can see it has a very cute hood and a drawstring I-cord. Excuse me. So the yarn I use, the blue, is J'adore Fibers Misty Mountains Cold. And my contrast color is Explorer Knits Joshua Tree National Park. And I had it in fingering, so I held a double to meet gauge. It is a DK weight garment. Yeah, but look how beautiful it is, and I'm so happy with how it came out. The J'adore Fibers knit up very evenly. I didn't alternate skeins at all. I actually thought about alternating skeins like when I got to down here past the stripes, but by the time I got there I was like, I'm pretty sure the rest of the skein I have will finish out the body, so there's no use in alternating skeins. Yeah, and I think I switched skeins somewhere in between the stripes, which when you have stripes, you can't tell. I mean, I honestly don't know where I changed skeins either. Yeah, but I'm so happy with it. I'm really excited. I think I do remember there was one skein that looked like it was maybe slightly darker than the rest, and what I did was I saved that skein to start the hood with, so that even if it was different, you couldn't really tell, or it would seem like more of a design or an intentional decision, which I guess in this case it was because I saved it to use for the hood. Anyway, yeah, really excited. I still have to take finished object photos. I'm really excited for that. But this pattern is ultimate me. I live in sweatpants and joggers like 90% of the time. The other 10% of the time, I'm wearing scrubs for when I work. So basically, I live in comfy clothes all day long. I was talking to my husband yesterday because he was talking about how he buys sweatpants now as if the way he used to buy jeans, which was, accumulating. And I was telling him I don't even own a single pair of jeans anymore, because all the jeans I had before were all before I was pregnant with either of my children. After I had my daughter, I think I was able to still fit into some of my jeans. And I maybe bought one pair. But then after I'd had a child and I spent a lot of time in leggings and maternity wear, I just had no desire to go back to wearing jeans and denim that is stiff feeling to me now. Like, I used to live in jeans. I used to wear jeans all the time before I had kids. And then after I had my second child, you know, my sizing changed and none of my jeans fit. And then it was a pandemic. And then I think the pandemic really shifted everyone's idea and culture of dressing up all the time. And when we moved, I donated all my jeans because none of them fit. And I just never replaced any of them. I never bought any new jeans. So I own no jeans. Yeah, that's okay. I think I'm making the switch to linen pants. If anything, I find them very comfy too, and they are dressier looking than joggers or sweatpants and leggings. So yeah, anyway, that was kind of a tangent. But oh, right, I remember why. I was talking about how I live in comfy wear all the time. So this pattern, being like a hoodie sweatshirt feel, is like the perfect pattern for me. It is peak me. Yeah, and I'm gonna be living in this for the rest of winter and spring. Yeah, but I highly recommend that you do this pattern when it comes out. I love it. It fits really great. Yeah, I just love it. And I have 3 works in progress to share with you. The first one is my Carlisle saddle. It is my unfinished test knit for Madison Moe. The pattern has been out now for over a month. I still have not finished it, but I did make some progress. I finished the second sleeve and now I'm on the body. And I am about 3 inches into the body. You know, it's fingering weight, so it's just gonna take a while. But I'm hoping, realistically, I'm not sure if I'm going to have it done by the next time I record another podcast. I'm just going to tell myself I'm not going to have it done. Because I probably won't. Yeah, but that's okay. Yeah, and this is in Cat Sandwich Fibers in Sweet and Spookier. And Cat Sandwich Fibers recently had a shop update. I think it was last week. There may be still some things left in her shop online if you want to go check it out. If not, I do recommend signing up for her newsletter because then she informs you when the shop updates are coming. Because she doesn't update her shop super often. Yeah, so if you want to get your hand on some of her yarn, I recommend her newsletter as the best way to stay up to date on that. So right now, the Carlisle is my main project. So if you haven't heard me talk about this before, I am doing this thing where every day, during the day, I spend 30 minutes knitting on a project and then I switch projects for however many 30-minute slots I can work into my day. On the weekdays, a little bit less because, you know, life is busy with work and kids and all that stuff. On the weekends, when I have more time to sit down and knit, during the day, I will set a timer for 30 minutes and work on one project for 30 minutes and then switch to the next one. I call those my secondary projects. My main project is the one that I work on at night. Usually every night I have a good 2-hour chunk where I can sit down and knit after my kids have gone to bed and before I go to bed. And so I designate one project to be my main project that I work on during those 2-hour blocks at night. So this is my main project right now. Yeah. And you know what? Actually now I have like no test knits. I mean, like, this is a failed test knit, but it's not, you know, I missed the deadline already. But right now I have absolutely no test knits because I finished the Downtown Hoodie. And it is kind of a strange feeling. If you're new, I tend to test knit a lot and it is not uncommon for me to have at least 2 test knits on the needles. But going into 2023, I wanted to knit more from my queue. Because, you know, I have a lot of yarn and I'd say like half of this yarn at least is designated for specific projects. And because I test knit a lot, those projects keep getting pushed back. And so for 2023, I want to knit more of those planned projects. And so I decided that I was only going to take 1 test knit per quarter. So the Downtown Hoodie was my test knit for the first quarter. I haven't signed up for any other test knit since. yeah, I think since then, there have been plenty of patterns that have been coming out for testing that I've looked at and maybe in the past I would have signed up for. But now that I am being pickier and choosier and really considering like, do I want to devote some time to knitting that over knitting other projects I have in mind, it's helping me just not be impulsive with that, I think. And not that I've ever really regretted doing any test knits, but it's just, I think that I'm in a good frame of mind. I'm liking it. And it is nice, it is a nice feeling right now to have no test knits. Yeah, and to feel like I have a lot of freedom in just casting on something if I want to, and if I have the needles free for it. And not worrying about if it'll take time away from another project that needs to be done at a certain time. Yeah, I really like it. Yeah. Anyway, we'll see how long that lasts. There are a few designers that I usually will always want to test for. Amy Sure is one of them. And yeah, but so far, as far as I know, like I haven't, she has a garment in testing right now, and I didn't sign for that one. Yeah, and so I think I might be safe for now. Of course, now that I've said that I'm safe, someone is going to release a testing call for something that I'm going to desperately want to test. But there are many patterns that I do want to knit up. Like Cadre has a bunch, Ozetta has a bunch that I want to knit up. I'm going to talk about another cast on I'm probably going to cast on soon. Yeah, so I think I'm very happy with all the projects that I planned. Yeah. Okay, the next thing on my needles is my Miles shirt jacket by Ozetta. I have made a good amount of progress on it. And here it is. So I've gotten to joining the front and backs. And it looks, oh, it's really hard to see right now. Yeah, so I finished the back and the front, and I've since joined for the front and back. So now I'll just be working back and forth until I get to where you do the short row, high-low curved hem thing. Yeah, but I'm really liking it. This shoulder detail is really nice. I really like that. This yarn is Dururum Natura in the base Gilead. I don't know how you say it. Gilead. It is their, is it worsted or DK? It's either DK or worsted. It's 100% wool. And this colorway is Tempet. And I'll show you the ball band. I got mine from Shop La Mercerie. That's typically where I tend to buy yarn from online when it's things like Knitting for Olive or Dururum. Yeah. But yeah, I'm really excited. This wool is, not this wool, this fabric is a little rougher than what I usually like. I have very sensitive skin, so I can't do like alpaca, I can't do mohair, I can't do alpaca, I can't do mohair. A lot of more rustic yarns are very itchy to me, like Wool of the Andes. Can't wear that next to skin. It prickles me and it makes me like break out in a rash where it touches. And this one I think is softer than Wool of the Andes to me, but I'm pretty sure it would not, I don't think it would be next to skin soft for me. Actually, I don't really know. But this is a, a shirt jacket, a cardigan essentially. So I'll always be wearing a layer underneath. And I'm really liking trying these more rustic wools, like woolen spun wools for cardigans, because they are lighter. When something is woolen spun, there's more air spun into the fiber, and so it has a loftier feel to it. The fabric is not as dense, and I like that for cardigans because cardigans are a lot of yardage, and if they're made in worsted spun, it can feel very heavy and it can weigh down a lot. It can drag, and the shape can get pulled out of whack. So I'm really liking this so far. Of course I'm not like that far in, but I already can tell I'm really gonna love it. Yeah. All right, my next work in progress is, oh, it's not a new cast on. I showed it to you last time, but I've made more progress since. So this is the Sheep Camp sweater by Jennifer Berg. And here is my color work yoke so far. Look how pretty it is. So I'm maybe halfway through the color work chart, maybe a third. I have seen online that it is quite a deep yoke, so I do plan to try it on as I go. Usually what I do is I just knit the whole yoke, and then after I separate for sleeves, then I try it on. But I have heard some people say that the yoke is really deep, So I'll probably be trying it on as I go to see if I need to end the yoke early. Yeah, but the yarn I'm using is from J'adore Fibers, and this is in her Luminous DK base, which is a 70% merino, 30% silk. And the colorways are, this is Stormy, and the mint is Mint Condition. Yeah, I love it. It's looking so crisp. It's a very graphic yoke. Graphic as in like striking. Yeah, so I'm really excited. I really like working on it. And so that's it for what's on my needles. I do have a pair of socks that cast on, but I honestly haven't worked on them. Yeah, so nothing to show for that. So today I want to show you some yarn I got that is new to me. And then I thought, because I've been in a lot of a cardigan mindset lately, that I would show you some of the cardigans I have planned in my stash. Yeah. So first, I got this in the mail yesterday. This is from Purl Soho. It is my first time actually trying Purl Soho yarn. They tend to use alpaca a lot in a lot of their yarns, and so I can't do alpaca, so I don't try a lot of them. Like, I know linen quill was super popular, especially in the spring last year and the summer, but it has alpaca in it, so I can't do that. But they have a few that don't have alpaca in them or mohair, and this is one of them. This is called Hedgerow, and it is, now that I show you the ball band, I can't read it. 93% merino, 3.5% cashmere, 3.5% mulberry silk. It is worsted weight, I believe. Yeah, it's worsted weight. This colorway is called Cattail Brown. And if you can see here, come on, here we go. It is like very heathery looking, very tweedy looking. It's got these tweed bits in there too. It is a very deep dark brown, and it's a cloudy day here, so I have my lights on inside. I think actually that's pretty accurate representation right there of the color. Yeah. So I got this to try out Purl Soho, and partially because Stephanie of Edible Thoughts talks about Purl Soho a lot, and she uses Purl Soho a lot. So my interest has been piqued, Stephanie. So I got this to try. I got another skein, but it's somewhere over there. I got this to try. It is rougher feeling to me. And I mean, the description online, they call it toothy. Okay, so that should give you a clue. And I am planning to use this for the Building Blocks cardigan that Amy Sher just released last week, I think. And I saw a version that toriknitsnyc knit up where it's the cardigan, but it's with short sleeves. So kind of like a vest. And I really like the look of hers. So I am going to knit up one like that. And so I got 3 skeins of this, which should be enough yardage for a short sleeve cardigan version. Yeah, and then because it's a cardigan, the rustic wool won't matter. Yeah, so I'm really excited to try this out. Really excited to make that cardigan. I feel like I'm in a very big cardigan mindset right now, even though I haven't actually finished one yet. Yeah. All right, so let me show you some of the cardigans I have planned. As I'm doing this, I'm like, Andrew, you probably should have pulled the assorted cardigans out beforehand instead of just digging around in your stash behind you like a yarn gremlin. Anyway, okay, so here's the first one I have planned. Oh my god. So this is going to be an Amy cardigan by Joji Locatelli. I'm going to pop the pictures up next to me so you can see them. And this is all in Woolberry. And this is from her Downton Abbey collection. And I'm calling this my men cardigan because all these colorways are named after the men in Downton Abbey. So like you've got, this is My Life's Work, which is Robert, Lord Grantham. And this one is For Good and Proper, which I believe is Carson. Sounds like Carson. I'm Political, which is Tom, of course, this beautiful olivey green. The Weekend, which is Matthew. And Travel and Hope, which is Mr. Bates. Yeah, so I'm gonna use these. I haven't decided an order yet. Might be something like this, honestly. Yeah. But like I have planned like a nice earthy, moody cardigan. Yeah, these are all sport weight. Is probably the Andrea cardigan. It's in the, is it called Worsted? In the Worsted book by Amy of La Bien Aimée, or Aimée of La Bien Aimée. And it was designed by Andrea Mowry, and it's named Andrea. And I am planning right now to use this, and this is also Woolberry. This is in Worsted. This is the colorway Bookish. Yeah, it's beautiful sagey green. All right, and another cardigan I planned is again a Woolberry. There's a theme here. And this is from January 2023 Collective, and this is the colorway But First Coffee, and actually I haven't shown it on here. This beautiful rich brown. This is the Aran base, and I'm going to make the Taka cardigan by Sorry Northern. Yeah, lots of greens and browns. Okay, and the last cardigan I've planned for now, I think, I really should have looked at my notes more before this, is a probably a Cleo cardigan. I think I haven't like really firmed up what I'm going to do. I just know what yarn I'm going to use. I think probably the Cleo cardigan by Rachel Knits Things, and I'm going to use this yarn I have from Camellia Fiber Company. It is the organic linen base. It's fingering weight, 70% organic wool, 30% linen. I have quite a bit of this, like, and I also have the single ply, which I probably should have tried to grab one, but it looks very similar. And this colorway is called Wheat, by the way. But I was thinking that if the cardigan that I was choosing was DK weight, what I would do is hold a strand of the single ply and a strand of this 4-ply together to get that DK weight gauge, and then use up all of my yardage like that. Because I have quite a bit of both. I think I have enough. I think I have like a sweater quantity of both bases. All right, so that's it for cardigans I've got planned for now. There might be more, but I honestly can't remember them. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed seeing that. Lots of dark, moody colors, some neutrals thrown in there, which I feel like is great for cardigans, so that you can layer them and wear them with anything. So now we're going to go into the segment called Fiber Talk, and you know, I might change it to something else, we'll see. But I have basically been recording my progress over the last 4 days or 5 days of trying to learn how to spin on my Nano spinner. I got an e-spinner, and yeah, so I started recording my journey with that. So I will be stitching those clips together and showing you that in this Fiber Talk segment. So please enjoy. All right, so this is going to be a little bit more vlog style, but I figured this could be interesting and entertaining to watch, and maybe helpful to anyone else out there who is thinking about learning how to spin. This is the first day of me trying to spin on the Electric Eel Nano 2. I tried a drop spindle starting on Friday and Saturday. Did not love it. Sorry, it's my kids in the background. So I'm hoping I have better success with using like an electric wheel. I decided to go with the electric wheel because honestly, because it's cheaper. You know, it's $125 compared to most spinning wheels are like $700 to $900 for a beginner one. And I wanted to make sure that I really do like it before I invest that much money into one. So let me show you what's going on here. So this is my Electric Eel Nano, and this is what's going on right now. I'm really struggling with getting my yarn, once it's on the leader yarn, to really get onto and wind the bobbin in. And see all these little curly cues here? That's not a good thing, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, that's after I just decided to take a break. I've been basically working on it for like an hour at a time throughout the whole day, taking breaks. And this is where we're at the end of day one. I've watched a lot of YouTube videos, or as many as I think I can. I think the problem lies in my drafting technique, which is how you pull the fibers out to let them get the twist in it to become the yarn. I've reached out to a few friends on Instagram for help, but we'll see. Stay tuned. Of course, my camera battery died right when I finally made some progress. So I finally got some of it to take on and wind onto the bottom before all these curly cues came back in. Progress, little by little. Okay, today is day 3? Is it day 3? I've lost track of how many days it's been. Saturday. Yes, day 3. Oh my gosh, it feels like it's been so long. After my camera died yesterday, I kind of got it a little bit, which I showed in that clip I took on my iPhone. Sort of got it. At least I got the fiber to wind onto the bobbin. And we're going to see if I can make something that resembles yarn more today. I got some tips from Tashi and Samantha, and both of them told me to turn my tension up more. Tashi told me to slow down my spinning and to sit further back, and also told me to just go with less roving too. So here we go. Let's give it another try. Alright, excuse all the mess behind me. I also probably am slightly crooked because I've got you just sitting on a drawer on top of stuff. Here we go. Today is day 4. Why am I always doing this? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, day 4. Oh my gosh. It feels like it's been a long time since I started trying to learn how to spin. Probably because it's been a while since I've had to be so terribly awful at something while I'm learning it. And I mean, like, it's good. It's good to, I think, be doing something so new to me that I am just completely failing. It's good to learn to fail and to learn from those things. So here we go, day 4. I am taking in some tips that I looked at from other YouTube videos. I was sitting far too close to the spinner, so I'm going to try to really lean back and relax. I think part of what I'm doing is I'm gripping onto the fiber too tightly, so it's just not, I'm just not letting it spin either. So here we go. I didn't say a single thing while it's happening because I was like, if I say something, I'm gonna break the magic and it's gonna stop and nothing's gonna work. But oh my god, I could cry. I'm so excited. I didn't expect this. I was expecting to just like struggle for honestly at least another week. I was expecting to struggle for just at least another week. Oh god. I am so happy. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not the prettiest looking thing in the world. It's still actually pretty ugly. But I am so happy that I finally got it, I think. Of course, now I'm expecting that when I go to spin again tomorrow, it's just all going to fly out the window and I'm going to be starting over from scratch again. But that's okay. If I do, that's okay, because at least I got a success one time. And progress is not always linear, right? It goes up and down. Oh my gosh. I think what worked for me was actually switching hands. I switched so that my left hand was the hand that was drafting. And when I think right now, it should have made sense because my left hand has more control than my right. I'm left-handed. And I just leaned back. So that I was more relaxed. And I think the fact that I leaned back and sat back in my chair and was more relaxed just helped me not grip the fiber so tightly. And I think honestly, I just took all the pressure off of myself. I was just like, just do it, just try. It's probably not gonna work again like it's been not working, but you just keep trying, right? And oh my God, it worked. Let me show you what it looks like. So here is this bit right here. Oh my God. Yeah, look at all this fluff of I just kept winding it onto the bottom because I was like, you know what, I'm not going to play with trying to get it on the leader every time. I'm just going to just keep going, right? We're not striving for perfection, but oh my God. And yeah, ignore the beer can. That's from like several days ago. I just didn't throw it away. Yes, I am a mess. Shh, it's okay. But oh my God. All right, so I hope you enjoyed seeing all that. And I hope you'll look forward to seeing more of my spinning journey on here. And as I get more acquainted with spinning, I do plan to put out content for spinners. So for all of you who are spinners who have been asking me for content, look forward to that. So that's it for today's episode. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you enjoyed seeing everything. And I'm trying to also interact more on here too. Yeah, I'm just feeling like, I think as spring is approaching, I'm feeling inspired to just try new things and to, yeah, I feel my creativity refreshing. And so I'm gonna try to ask you all to share something with me down in the comments each time. I know the past few times I've asked about how you manage your whips and things like that. So this time I think I'm gonna ask you, what is something new that you're looking forward to trying? It can be a new technique, it can be a new yarn, a new pattern, just something new you've discovered recently. Or it doesn't even have to be knitting or yarn related, something in your life. Yeah, but I look forward to reading all your comments and interacting with you all, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, happy knitting.